exciting start to the new season against Arsenal on Saturday. I mean, how excited are you and the players for that challenge, especially as well now that you've got the experience of last season under your belt?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, when the new season comes, it's always something that you're looking forward to. As you said, tough game. Doesn't get much tougher away from home. But at the same time, we're all been working hard through pre-season. We're all gearing up for the start of the season, and 5 or 6 weeks of a preparation phase. You just want to get going. So it's good that it's come round. I think I haven't seen the Championship start last week, and now the Premier League start this week. It's good to be up and running, and we look forward to it as well.
Brennan Johnson, how is he? Do you think he's ready? He's got an hour obviously against Eintracht Frankfurt, isn't he? How's the ankle? How's he bearing up?
Yeah, no, he's fit. Yeah, he obviously came back to pre-season with an injury that he picked up in the international games at the end of our season. So that was unfortunate that he had the summer to deal with that, and then the most part of pre-season. But he's committed really well, as he does with everything, to his rehab, and back on the training pitch as soon as he could, and it was great to get him involved last week. So yeah, he's been back in now, training. I think this is his second full week, and we give him some minutes, well, more than some last week, and for sure he's in the mix for the weekend.
And just while that transfer window is still open, Steve, I mean, how confident are you and the club that he will still be a Nottingham Forest player by September 1st? Given what's happened today with Harry Kane, it could well be a chain of events. He might be a player of interest.
Well, he's for sure. He's a super young player, and he's shown last season that he can play well in the Premier League. So there's naturally going to be talk and speculation about anybody like Brennan. I don't really think about it too much until something happens with any of our players. Then you have to sort of go into work thinking that they're going to be with you, for the next game, and that's what I'm like with all of the guys, including Brennan. So it's not something I've thought about too much. But at the same time, we know that he's a talent, and he may be a talking point for some clubs. But that's not. I can't lose any sleep over that. I'm just thinking about what we can do with him in preparation for the weekend.
Sure. And good news about Matt Turner. Is that going to have any bearing potentially on what you might do regarding Dean Henderson? The two are not linked. I mean, is that still live? Well,
you're right. The two are not linked. I'm not going to talk about a player at another club. I'll only talk about a player that's with us, and we're delighted that the Matt is here. It's something that we've tried for a little while now. So to finally get it over the line, we're really pleased, and looking forward to getting going with him. He was excited to come here, as I'm sure he would have told you guys, and has really sort of hit the ground running with his training and his settling in, if you like, amongst the players and the staff. But like everybody else, he'll just want to get going on the pitch and try and have an impact there, which is the most important thing.
And last one from me, Steve. There's been a little bit of to and fro in this week, players and past players, regarding the new Premier League rule change regarding stoppage time. Referees wanting to clamp down and be more stringent in that area. Has there been any feedback to you from your players about what kind of an impact that might have? Have you got any thoughts on it, Steve? Or?
Well, for sure, it was brought up at the managers' meeting. Well, more than brought up, it was discussed thoroughly, inclusive of some video footage, some examples, and as always, FA Premier League will come and speak to the players every sort of pre-season, and that's happened, and it always talks about possible changes in the game. So the real talking points have been, as you said, the stoppage time and one or two other things. I just thought it was interesting watching the game at Wembley last week, and maybe if that set a precedent, then I think we've all got to think about it carefully, because it definitely is different. You've seen some of the yellow cards that was given. Maybe that's just how the game was refereed with that referee, I don't know. But if that's how it's going to be, then it's definitely going to be different.
15 minutes in total. The Sheffield Wednesday Southampton game as well. So,
yeah, and you just wonder sometimes, and this was discussed, that you have these small or maybe a big change that are really apparent at the start of the season, and maybe 3 or 4 rounds of games, and then they tail off. So it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. But like I said, it's definitely something that we've had to discuss amongst staff and players, because it seems like it's no longer going to be a 90-minute game, and that comes with its pros and cons, obviously. And like I said, also some of the yellow cards that were given out, and ironically we play one of the teams that was in that game. So yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting to see the discussions on Monday and Tuesday, because I think there will be teams that will fall on the good and the bad side of the changes, and I just hope that we don't fall on the bad side of it. But like all of these things, the proof is really going to be, you know, in the pudding, if you like, in terms of whether they're going to be good. My personal view is at the moment I'm not too sure. We're going to have to wait and see how it goes.
Thanks so much, Dave. Cheers.
Hi, Damien. How are you?
Good, thank you. How would you compare the preparations for this season to last season? We all know about the number of players that were coming in. It was a very different situation. How would you sort of characterise the difference between then and now?
I'm not sure how relevant that is, Damien, just to compare, because obviously next pre-season will be different, and so on and so forth. And I'm not really into the comparing anything really, because it's about looking forward and about looking at what we have now in terms of this season. So for sure, there's a lot of differences at the club. Some things are still the same. I think what's important is you try and manage all of that and prepare as best you can for the league. Starts with Arsenal, and we're not really looking any further than that. But there's context to every pre-season. There's context to every transfer window. We're obviously in a position with our squad where we'd like things to be a bit different, but every sort of, I think, manager and club will say that as well, and that's just the nature of this time of year. I think what's really important is that you really focus on what you're in control of, and that at the moment is the players that are here, the preparation for the weekend, and trying to get the programme of work right and giving 100% to that.
You play everyone in the course of a season, but this is a particularly harsh start, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe we call it a coincidence if you look at all our first sort of 5 or 6 away games. I'm not sure that's happened before. Typical, maybe Nottingham Forest, but yeah, it's definitely a talking point, and it will be an obvious thing to just allude to straight away. Like, have you seen the first half a dozen of Forest away fixtures? So it's funny how that's panned out. But what I would say is that it's a bit of a cliche, but there is nothing like or anything near close to being an easy game in this league, home or away, and with that sort of smacked us in the face straight away last year. So yeah, let's call it a coincidence how the fixtures have come out. We'll just take it as it comes, and sort of look forward to it, commit to it, and give everything we can to try and get as much as we can out of every game.
How much of a coup is it to get Anthony Elanga in the building? Because just a couple of years ago, it looked like he was going to break through at Manchester United. So how pleased are you to get? Yeah,
really pleased to be fair. He's been a really exciting young player that we're looking forward to continuing his development, while hopefully having an impact on performance and results from the get-go. So it's definitely one that we want that. We want him to be involved and to show what he can do for us straight away, while knowing that we've got a young player that we can really continue to help develop. So people would see in the attributes and the potential and the exciting parts of his game that he has. For me, what's equally as exciting is his mentality and his growth mindset in really trying to become the player that he wants to be. And we've only been working with him a few weeks now, and he's really engaged in how we work and individual. And we haven't given him too much too soon, because I think you have to be careful with that with young players, particularly when they move club. But we're really looking forward to working with him, and like I said, having a quick as impact as he can, while knowing that we really want to see a good young player end up flourishing here and becoming an important player for us. Thanks, Damien.
Hi, Steve.
Charlie, how are you?
Thank you. Just quickly,
yeah.
Just building off the back of the Unseen Longer stuff, everybody that's got a kind of brush shoulders with him always talks about his character. I just wonder how much of that went into your thinking when you were looking to sign him, how much emphasis did you put on his character?
Well, it goes into every player that you bring in, or certainly try and understand as much as you can about all aspects of a player, and that's including of that attitude and mentality. And for sure, that's a real positive to Anthony's makeup. He's like I said, what you see as a footballer is one thing, but what you're working with day to day is another. And he's, like I said, he's got a fantastic attitude, a real engaging personality, bright lad, who for sure is always going to get the best out of himself. And we're really looking forward to try and help him do that. And that's the stage we're at now. Like I said, we want him to have an impact as quickly as we can, but sometimes you have to go a bit slower to go faster in the long term. Yeah, that'll be the case with him, and he's really bought into us. We know we had a number of offers, so the fact that he chose us is really pleasing, and we've got to make sure now that we all commit to do him, what we said we will do with him, and we look forward to that.
Random one, but in music they always say the second album is the most difficult. Speaking generally, how do you view progress this season at the club?
I think there's a better answer to that question after the transfer window. I don't think now is the time where I can really give a fair assessment on that. What I do know is that I'm really enjoying, as always, working with the players, and we give them everything, and they're giving everything as well, and we're not looking any further than the weekend's game. But in terms of bigger picture stuff and growing the team and the squad and the club, I can't really answer that now because we'll see what it's like on the 1st of September. So. But all of that's irrelevant at the moment because we've got to work day to day, and we've got to get the most out of the guys and the staff that are here, ensuring that when a game comes, and it's obviously Arsenal on the weekend, that we're as ready as we can be, and that's where my mentality is at the moment.
Thanks, Steve, for sure.
You too.
Pete. Steve. Just following on about the away fixtures, daunting as those are, is there anything to be gained from meeting these teams early in the season when perhaps they haven't got into their stride, or the squads are still trying to gel?
Well, Arsenal looked all right last week, so who knows? Who knows? For us, I say this a lot. We always plan for a team to be at their very best. I think Arsenal have been the real front runners in getting their business done. There's a lot to be learnt from that, I think, in terms of really having to see that they're clear on the players that they wanted and the planning that had gone into it, and getting them is probably somewhere where we'd all love to be. So you have to admire that, and they had a brilliant season last year with the brand of football that they play as well. So yeah, all of that in the context of the game makes it a massively tough challenge. But you're also right in what you're saying. You've got to go to these places and attack them or attack the challenge. And for sure we'll have a plan, and sure we'll give everything to it. And we'll see if it comes together on the day. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't get much tougher.
Thanks, Steve.
You too.
Jonathan. Hi, Steve.
Hi, John.
Are you close to any more signings, and how many do you think you might need before the end of the window?
Yeah, it's difficult to put an exact number on it. I think that one of the things we talked about at the end of the season was by retaining our Premier League status and how tough that was, and it is for any team coming up, and particularly how we had to go about it. Give the club, give us all an opportunity to grow, and one of the main reasons to grow is with the squad and the team. So that's still the case. We want to do better than last season, and that's going to be really, really tough because of the nature of the league that we're in. But to do better, you have to, strengthen the team, strengthen the squad, and that gives you a chance to do that. There's no guarantees of it, of course. So I think we're still in that process. We all want to. We're pleased with the players who have come in. Would we have liked to have done more business by now? Absolutely. Me for sure. But then at the same time, as I always do, I commit to the guys who are here and make sure that they get everything that we can give them in helping them prepare for a game. And if in the next few weeks we can add to the squad and strengthen the squad, then I think that's going to be really beneficial for helping the club progress.
Can I just check which injured players aren't going to be fit for the weekend?
I'm going to be fit for the weekend. Felipe for sure. Obviously, Moose's just about returning to training, and so is Taiwu. So the game probably comes too soon for them. I think that's it. Brennan's been back a couple of weeks. I think that's it, isn't it? A couple of younger guys, but no, that's it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, mate.
You mentioned there about that you would like potentially some more transfers to be done. Are there any specific areas of the pitch that you'd like to see strengthened compared to what you've got?
Yeah, for sure, and that's been the case since we discussed right at the end of last season. So that hasn't changed. I'm not going to go into it because I just wouldn't, because you've got to really back what you've got, which is what I do. But you know, when you get asked about where you think you might need to strengthen, you say, and we've agreed on that as a club. So still working through that. Something that we still really want to do if we want to improve, and hopefully we can do that.
Against Arsenal, what kind of game are you expecting against them?
Tough one. Really tough one. I think that all of the normal challenges of being away from home and the excitement of the new season and everything that goes with that. They were an incredible team last year, and you saw that with the where they finished in the league and how comfortable they were for large parts of it, and they've strengthened as well. So it's right up there with as tough as it gets. But we've got to try and embrace that challenge. We've got to try and be excited about what can be achieved, and agreeing on the plan and going committing to it. And in the end, we've one of the things that we have to try and do better than last season is, and there's a load of things, is play better and get more points away from home. So something that we talked about, doesn't get much tougher, if at all, than this one. But at the same time, if we want to improve areas, the only way to do that is going and delivering. So starts on Saturday. Let's see. Thank you, mate. Thanks.
Cameras off, please.